Welcome back to the morning show on XL7 TV. It's time for This Week in Real Estate with Mr. Bob ZDORA. How are you, sir?
Good.
Been a busy week?
Yeah.
How'd the cold weather hit you this week?
You know, it doesn't affect the internet as much, so people still call, and we're still working, keeping deals together, moving people forward, get them to closing. All the stuff that's been in the little tidbits of news that come in without getting the whole story with these lawsuits and stuff in Missouri for the one, and then some of them they pled out on. That's going to be...
What is this you're talking about?
The commissions and saying that we're all in this big conspiracy. And nothing could be farther from the truth. I can't speak for any other market, any other state, or anything else. I can speak for how business is done here in our MLS, and that is not the case at all.
Yeah.
But there's things that are going to change just because there's always change. You know, it used to be that everybody represented the seller. That was before my time.
Sure, that was back in my day.
Yeah. And the poor buyer was kind of on their own. It was still a big investment, but it's not the kind of investments that they are now, and they weren't as complicated. The contracts, them were what, 4 pages, maybe 3-4 pages. You know, now they're 15.
Oh, back then they were 2-page.
Yeah, and and things probably worked just fine.
Yeah,
but that was before lawyers get their fingers in everything, and because of that, everybody's kind of looking out for themselves. So we're going to see how that's all going to shake out, but that's literally years away by the time they get done with that. So we'll adjust as the market calls for it. And
on the local scene, what's the backlog of closing? How quick can you?
Oh, you can
get
get closed.
Get it sold and get it closed.
You could close within 30 days because they're not doing a lot of refis. So they've got extra time at the closing companies to
get things
pushed through a little bit, right? You can get the title searches done a little quicker. They just don't have as many files on their desk, so they can get through them a little quicker. But you can get done in 30 days. When you look at the timeout market and stuff and seeing these closings, I mean, you're down some of these weeks we've been down to 60-some days. That's really quick. That's from the time the contract was signed, because sometimes the contract gets signed, but the house doesn't necessarily come on that week. Sometimes we're still getting the house cleaned out. They're going to have a rummage sale. They're going to get rid of dad's stuff has got to go to one of the sons, things like that. So when we're working on that, it's cutting into the days because you're not going to put it on until it's ready to go.
Let me ask you, what is easier to sell? A home that's currently lived in or one that's empty? Considering the price is all good and all that.
Yeah. Lived-in homes, it's easier for people to walk through and place their furniture where furniture is, or look and see that, oh, that's a king-size bed in there, so our king-size bed will fit. Sure. Sometimes you walk into an empty room and your sense of dimensions gets lost a little bit. Well, if we put the bed there, how big is that, and where's the dresser going to go, and you got that big break front. You can walk into a closet and see either that it's all crushed in there, or there's space in there.
It takes away I don't think our king-size bed's going to fit in that bedroom. Well, they had a king in there, so it's going to fit.
Right. So that helps a lot. I think that homes that are lived in, sometimes we'll have people leave some furniture in there just to give it that kind of lived-in look. That's worked well for us. Empty homes have a tendency to punish people. Is a phrase that I use but it seems like, man, something that's empty, it sits for a little while, and like now with the weather changing and the cold snap was a little sooner than they had thought it was going to be, then these weather guys were talking about and changed the days on it. But so you got to get out there, you got to make sure that the cabinets are open so that the heat gets underneath the kitchen sink and things like that. A little drip that you would catch if you were living in it is nothing. If it's a drip and it's been dripping for 2 weeks, then it can be something.
It could turn into something. Yeah.
So vacant homes I mean, obviously they sell, and people's situations are such, and you go and you take pictures of the rooms, and we've sold vacant homes. It's not like it's an impossible thing to do. They occur all the time. We've got one that it's going on today. We got a little condo over in Meadowbrook that's going in today. It's vacant. People, we're done living there, and we've got it listed, and we'll get it. It'll sell probably within a pretty short period of time. It's a popular subdivision over there. It's vacant, but it's not going to matter, because people sometimes being vacant, they'll come in and they'll say, okay, well, we know we're going to have to redo the kitchen. And you may notice it more when it's vacant and be able to say, okay, well, if we move this over here, we can do this. As long as we got to tear it all apart, we can do this and this instead. So those are the kind of things. There's a yin and a yang to both of them.
What's the importance of curb appeal in the fall when you've got all the leaves? What do you tell your sellers how do they need to deal with that stuff?
Well, you need to kind of clean the place up. You need to get the leaves off the roof. Not you, please. I know two guys that are
Jones.
really hurt from falling off of ladders, and guys who should have known better.
John Montgomery.
I didn't say that. But we get somebody to go up there and do that. They can go up there. They can blow them off. They can, break them off, whatever it may take. You want to make sure that curb appeal, because people you don't want them to pull into the yard and be overwhelmed with all the maintenance that they think they're going to have to do. It's not really that much, but you want to take that doubt out of their mind. Market is tightening up a little bit. There's houses that have been on the market. We're starting to see sometime on the market for some of these homes, and that's what it is. They're either in need of repairs that didn't get done, and the seller's still trying to get 2021 money for them, or they just don't have that. They didn't put any money into it, but they still think
they ought to get the same money back out.
out. Yeah, and it's just, and that'll come around. The market's always moving. The market's always moving, and that's why you hire a real estate agent, a real estate company, to help you with those things, to be able to go over this stuff and say, look, you don't need to do all this, and I'm not saying take on big projects. Generally, no. Safety issues, things that I know are going to get called out on a home inspection, ground faults, things like that. When you push the shower and it's flexing behind the faucet there's probably a leak back there. Oh, it's been fine. I know it's been fine, but and we do that. We live in our homes.
To you may not be fine to the buyer.
Yeah, and we do. We live in our homes, and we just get used to them, but it's going to get called out, and then we're going to have to address it. So, and I would generally I'd like to be ahead with the home inspections if there's something that we could prevent, so that the buyer doesn't have the excuse, well, it's got all this stuff wrong with it. I'd rather keep that to a minimum, and things that we don't know about.
Yeah, now we're not talking painting all the bedrooms and the hallway and the living room, the dining room, the kitchen, and we're not talking about changing the carpet or changing the tile. We're talking about stuff that's visibly just take care of it. Give an allowance to change the carpet, because what you put in they may not like.
Right, exactly, and that's the whole thing, Bob. People say, well, we're gonna granite the countertops. The guy wanted marble. I mean, you don't know what. You're better to deal with that with price. And that's what we do with my mom's house. She had been in there for 20 years, and it wasn't run down. I mean, she had new appliances and stuff in there, but it was just dated, So, okay, fine. Adjusted. The carpet's been there. It was clean. It had been cleaned regularly. That's fine. We'll give them credit for that, and we'll go move on. And that's generally what sellers are looking to do. They're looking to move on. Their house is for sale for a reason, especially in this market. People aren't moving just to move. They're moving because they have to. They got a new job. They had a death in the family, children, all the things that I talk about all the time. They're still true, and to be able to deal with those things and to move on, sometimes you're better off to just buy your way out of it and get on with the next phase of your life.
Yeah, they're not selling just to move across town.
No, sir, they're not. And I used to use it all the time. You can make more money, but you can't make more time. And you can make more money in a number of ways. It's not a matter of just getting a better job or doing a different job. It's maybe going out to dinner one night a week less, or doing things that you can do to bring your budget in and make more money that way. But you can't get that time back. If you're missing that time with the grands and you're thinking that that's where you want to be, then that's where you should be.
That's where you need to be. Let's take a look at some numbers.
This week in real estate, there were 45 new listings come on the market, 2 commercial properties, 21 parcels of land, 21 homes came on the market. They range in price from $60,000 to $1.25 million. There were 30 sales, 3 parcels of land, 27 homes sold. Yeah, that was good. They ranged in price from $30,000 to $500,000. The average sale price this week was $201,000 with 78 days on market. 7 properties expired, 29 hit price changes. There's 44 pending waiting to close. Currently, there's 293 homes on the MLS. Those are homes that you can walk in the door and buy them right now. Year to date, for 2023, there's been 909 homes have sold for $207 million. The average sale price this year is $228,000 with 86 days on market. For 2022, there were 1,034 homes that sold. The average sale price last year was $220,000 with 79 days on market. That was as the rates were starting to crank up a little bit. Everybody was trying to get in, and people were like, "Oh, we'll just wait a little while." Yeah, that didn't work out quite as well. The average prices have increased every year from 19, 20, 21. Days on markets decreased from 19, 20, and 21. There's a supply and demand issue that we're having, not only here but throughout the country. But rates, in fact, the rates dropped a little bit this week. I got my note from Chris Nassari. The interest rate on a 30-year conventional is 7.25 with 1% origination fee. But if you got an FHA or a VA, or a conventional 15-year, they're the same. Kind of surprising. They're both at 625. And rural development and the VA loans are at 675 with a 1% origination fee. So it's down a little bit. And I'm concerned that when it gets down to a certain point, everybody's going to come back in. All the buyers are going to come back in. And if this 200 houses that we've got on the market right now will be scarfed up and the prices are going to pop up again.
Mm-hmm. The even supply and demand.
Yes, sir.
Drives the price.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
What's going on with the ZTEAM this weekend? Traveling, doing anything?
We're going to be at the Marion County Republican dinner on Saturday, tomorrow afternoon. Linda's got a couple of showings set up, and I know that some of the other kids have got showings and people coming into town. There's still people coming in. The weather's still nice here. People are coming now because they're looking for the change in scenery. You know, it's a beautiful. You can get up on these roads. When you drive here, even if you're driving to Harrison, wherever, you just get such nice views coming over the ridges, and get up to those tops and go, wow.
How do they get you?
Don't get me. You really don't. I appreciate it, but you want to call Linda. She's at 870-405-0793. Check out the website, retiredarkansas.net. All the MLS is on there, a bunch of other tips and clues, and the shows are on there. You can take a look at them. If you have a question, just give us a call, and we'll be glad to help you out with anything, buyers' questions, sellers' questions. This is what we do. We do this all day, every day, and the whole team, myself, Linda, Sam, Darlene, April, and Reese Tubbs. This is what we do. Nobody's working at Walmart.
There you go. Thanks for joining us. You've been watching This Week in Real Estate with Bob ZDORA, Century 21 Lemac Realty, the ZTEAM. 870-405-0793 is their number. retiredarkansas.net is their website. We'll be back with Friday football in just a moment.
Go Bombers.